still hunting for the shooters.
This gun battle went on for over 10 minutes, so it shows you that the level of violence here has been increasing.
My next guest says this is why we need more tough laws like Arizona. Tara Setmayer is communications director for Republican Congressman Dana Rohrabacher. What happens now, Tara? Because again and again, we see this kind of stuff, and again, we do nothing.
Well, you know, this doesn't surprise me as someone. I also work on immigration for Congressman Rohrabacher, and after dealing with the Border Patrol and in Texas and in border states, you hear instances like this of violence along the border all the time. Sheriffs that are down there, they plead with the federal government to please help them, get them resources, put the National Guard on the border, whatever they need to do, because they're outgunned and outmanned by the drug smugglers, the drug cartels, the illegal alien human smuggling that goes across the border. These are issues that happen all the time, and yet our federal government continues to do nothing, and this stems back to the Bush administration. They're just as guilty. However, this administration, the president, Janet Napolitano, the vice president, they've jumped out there and they've indicted Arizona and said that the law there was misguided. Janet Napolitano, our Secretary of Homeland Security, said it was a shame. What's a shame is that we continue to do nothing, and they're in a position to change that.
Still, you're right. In the general media, it's the portrayal of Arizonians, the 7 out of 10 who supported this crackdown. They're all racist, and nothing else is getting through, and that this is a great American injustice. Despite all these acts of violence, despite the type of economic pressures that led Arizonians to push for this. But that never gets out, does it?
Well, no. What happens is you have politics at play here. The Democrat Party is looking at this issue as allowing illegals to come here. We don't really want to enforce the laws that are already on the books, because we want this major voting bloc here to help secure our majority. Now, the other side, you have the big business corporate Republicans who want the cheap labor. So you have these two sides competing against one another, but yet everyone realizes that this is a national security issue first and foremost. You know, what are we doing here? The President of the United States says it's misguided. It says that, you know, it's a civil rights issue. But what about the civil rights of the people in Arizona, in Texas, in California, in our border states whose land is being trampled on, who 300,000 people a year come across the border in parts of Arizona? We have the means to build the fence. We have the means to send the National Guard there.
In the meantime, we pay attention to these violent, you know, anti-crackdown protests. That get scant attention for what was behind it, but that's what gets the attention, and not much of that. What do you make of that?
That's right, and the flip side of this is that what's going on in Arizona, and zeroing in on this, where in Arizona, in Phoenix, it's the kidnapping capital of our country. A kidnapping occurs once every 35 hours. Border Patrol assaults are up 46% according to the National Threat Assessment issued by the Justice Department just in March, up 46% since '06. So yet the administration turns around and they cut the 287G program, which is allowing local law enforcement to work and deputize them with the federal government to help enforce immigration laws. They've reduced workplace raids. They're not doing anything about going after employer sanctions as strongly as they can. What we need to do is we need to reduce the economic incentive that brings people over here, because we are the land of opportunity.
We never do.
Understand why people come here, but they don't do it.
All right,
well, bringing attention to things like this, the American people have the ability to draw the attention to it and force the politicians to make sure we pass laws that are strong and that we enforce our border.
Tara, thank you so much. In the meantime, a massive bailout unions protesting